The following is a Gear Network presentation on iHeartRadio. GearNetwork.com. This is a Gear Network production.
I am the greatest. The greatest.
JC Money.
From the Gear Network Studios, it's the JC Money Podcast with your host, John Cimino, a.k.a. JC Money. And now, here's John.
And hello, everybody. Welcome to this edition of the JC Money Show here on the Gear Radio Network's iHeartRadio channel. What is up? How's it going? My name is John Cimino at the JC Money on the Twitter and on Facebook, facebook.com/thejcmoney. And I'm going to go ahead and get right into the topics. But first, I must give some love to our Amazon page. It is shopgear.com. That's shopgere.com. Go, if you're going to shop on Amazon, please use my link and just go there and do that. It's no additional cost to you, no nothing. It helps sustain this program. It helps sustain this podcast. It helps sustain this network. Easy breezy Japanesey, my babies. Shopgear.com. That's the easiest way to support us and allows us to keep these spontaneous podcasts going, whether it's on the iHeartRadio channel or, like normal, released on Spreaker or iTunes or whatever platform that we have. All right, now, let's move on, shall we? Time to start the show, my babies. I don't have a lot today, I think. I did have a show written out, and I apologize for not having a Friday episode last week or a Tuesday episode, but, you know, I had a whole show written out, and it was going to talk about a personal thread that I had on my personal Facebook with some back and forth banter, some yucks of, you know, the left versus the right, and this and that and this and that, but I kind of find it a little mundane to talk about those particular things, which, you know, for radio perspective would be entertainment. I mean, certainly I lean to the left, and I have no problem admitting that. And I am very, very much anti-Trump. I am not a Donald Trump fan at all, and that is painfully obvious. That being said, as I stated, it would be mundane to talk about the back and forth banter between myself and, you know, some Facebook friends and acquaintances when a serious matter happened earlier Wednesday. James Hodgkinson was the man identified for shooting a Republican member of Congress and 4 others on Wednesday morning. This was not an act, regardless of whether or not he was left or right. And he was identified as a Bernie supporter, and he volunteered on Bernie's presidential campaign and was strongly anti-Trump. And it's easy to make a political story out of it, where, and I've seen this, and this sickens me to the fact that people are politicizing an asshole with a gun. They're making it a political thing. And it bothers me that we as a society and we as human beings have allowed ourselves to come to that, where the right is pointing the finger saying, oh, shocking, it was a liberal that had the gun and was shooting everything up. Liberals are crazy. And the left pointing the finger at the right saying, well, hey, didn't Trump ease up sanctions on people with people signing up for guns, not having to go through a mental stability check or whatever the hell they were saying? And really, the bottom line of it all is that it was a very, very twisted and sick individual that took liberty and did something that an asshole terrorist would do. And I don't care if I don't care that he's left. I don't care if he were right. He was an asshole either way. Nobody, under any circumstances, deserves to be shot, to be in intensive care, and to be, hospitalized for what? For politics? These are some of the things. He's a 66-year-old man. Let me give you the background on this guy. He's a 66-year-old man who was a small business owner in Illinois and defined himself publicly by his firm support of Bernie Sanders' progressive politics and his hatred of conservatives and President Donald Trump. CNN's review of Hodgkin's personal Facebook profile, public records, and 3 years of impassioned letters to his local newspaper were the basis for that assessment. Some of the things this guy wrote, quote, Trump is a traitor. Trump has destroyed our democracy. It is time to destroy Trump and company. Republicans are the Taliban of the USA. I don't believe that one bit. I do believe that Trump has caused a divide, but a lot of that is he's grossly unqualified for his position as the president of the United States. I know people are saying, well, there's good things that he's done. I can't name one. I cannot name one good thing that he has done. So to anybody and any other podcaster or news person that has suggested that, you know, what he's doing for this country is starting to make America great again, no, he hasn't done anything other than take vacations and get world leaders pissed off at us. There's facts, there's proof in the pudding, look at it. Regardless of that, I do not think that Republicans are the Taliban of the USA. I think that the alt-right and the alt-left are batshit crazy, and that we need to kind of come to some sort of middle ground. I think Trump represents the alt-right, but I don't think that Republicans as a whole are the Taliban of the United States. I don't think that one bit. I have Republican friends that I could bullshit with and have cigars with or have a beer with or call my mother. And none of that, they're peaceful people. They're harmless. They want what's best for their family. They want what's best for their country. And, you know, political differences aside, the human element is there with every single one of them. And we could jab back and forth at one another, but the bottom line is that, you know, at the end of the day, we're all humans. And this was a situation, a sad situation of a twisted human shooting up members of Congress whom are also human, that also have families, children, grandchildren, wife, brother, sister, whatever. And it was just an act of human indecency. What my hope is that this particular story will show everybody in unison that it's not just one side of the fence or the other. It's not those stereotypical gun-toting right-wing people, because this guy was as far left as they come. He was alt-left, considering the things that I'm reading right now about him. It doesn't matter what side of the political fence they are on. What does matter is common human decency, and somewhere along the way, it has been lost. We need to find a way to get it back, to come together and get it back. You know, my Republican friends, they disagree with me. They could disagree with me all they want with political things. But there are other things that we agree on, like sports and wrestling and whatever. So letting politics gain the majority of control of your thought process instead of letting it be part of it, and that part of it combined with the rest of you mold you into who you are. If you let the politics of the United States of America and the world encompass you and define who you are, then with all due respect, you're as f***ed as that guy. More to come after this. Father's Day is Sunday, June 18th, and if you haven't purchased a gift yet, head on over to our Amazon store at shopgear.com and find that perfect gift for your father, stepfather, or father figure in your life. Everything from lawnmowers, tools, grilling supplies, and more can be purchased and delivered right to his door, gift wrapped with a card, and everything, the whole nine. It's awesome. And if your dad is an electronic junkie like me, we have Amazon Fire tablets starting at just $49.99, and for a limited time, buy any 3 all-new Fire tablets, and Amazon's going to knock off an additional 20% from your order. We also have gift cards in any denomination, too, if Dad wants to pick out his own gift. What's more, by using our shopgear.com link to go to Amazon and make your purchases, you help support this program at no additional cost to you. That's right, no gimmicks, my babies. Just use our link and shop Amazon. Have it delivered in 2 days or less with Prime. Make Dad happy and support a small business all at once. Win-win-win for everybody. As always, thank you for bookmarking, saving, and sharing our Amazon link at shopgear.com. IndyCard Media is your one-stop shop for quality designs at a quality price. They offer merchandising, company branding, event posters, custom clothing designs, and so much more. Check out their gallery of past designs by visiting facebook.com/IndyCard Media and tell them what you think. That's IndyCard Media, 337-446-4331 or IndyCardMafia@gmail.com. Tell them that we sent you. Again, 337-446-4331. IndyCard Media. Bring your designs to life. On a lighter note, is sponsored by our store through Amazon using shopgear.com. You heard the promo already earlier, but I will emphasize this again. Father's Day is coming up. I'm a father. Hey, Don. How you doing? You know the deal. But Father's Day is coming up. It is a few days away. You still have time to get your dad that gift using Prime from shopgear.com, shopGERD. Tell your neighbors, tell your friends. All right. On a lighter note, Dennis Rodman is in North Korea to, quote, open a door, hopefully, for his former celebrity apprentice boss, of course, the president of these United States. Rodman is friends with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and has taken several trips there since 2013 and has been given the red carpet treatment there, but has been given harsh criticism here, being that there is tension between the U.S. and North Korea over its weapons program and recent missile launches. Rodman did not confirm that Trump knew of his trip, though several sources are saying that Trump himself does know and that he, quote, wishes him well. The Golden State Warriors did not blow a 3-1 lead and are the new NBA champions. For the second time in 3 years, the Golden State Warriors are the NBA champions. They defeated the Cleveland Cavaliers 4-1. Kevin Durant is the NBA Finals MVP. And a happy stat for LeBron haters. LeBron-led teams are now 3-5 in the NBA Finals. I'd rather be 3-5 than 0-0, to be honest with you. But that's just me. And I don't really understand the LeBron hate anymore, at least. Like, I get it. He was shoved down everybody's throats as the second coming. But, really, this guy has put an incredible basketball resume together. And at 32 years old, still considered the best player in the world. I mean, is the window closing on LeBron? I don't know, but the next time Brennan and I get together to talk on the Not Just Football Talk Weekly podcast, I'll ask him that, see what he thinks, and probably have a little more opinions for myself since that podcast is much longer than this one. But the Pittsburgh Penguins defeated the Nashville Predators in Game 6 to win the Stanley Cup for the second straight year. Sidney Crosby was given the Conn Smythe Trophy as well for the second straight year as the playoff MVP. But definitely look for more talk about both the Stanley Cup Finals and NBA Finals on the next and Not Just Football Talk Weekly podcast, or BLTD if you guys decide to drop a podcast on us. Then there will definitely be stuff on there. But one thing, too, I'm probably going to end up getting Perez back on the JC Money Show one of these weeks because he wanted to have a friendly debate on the greatest of all time in the NBA, whether it was Michael Jordan or LeBron James. And I am of the mold that it's greatest of the era. Because in the NBA, you think about it, it is a era-based game. Bill Russell and his 1,000 NBA championships, well, impressive. He wasn't playing in an NBA that had as many teams as it does now. Michael couldn't do it without Scotty or whatever. There's different stories for different sides, and Perez wants to debate that. So one of these weeks we'll put that together, and we will meet up and probably have another cigar. Although I'll probably do more than one mic next time, Perez, because the one mic thing was kind of cool, but it was improv. So the idea wasn't to have a guest in the podcast that week, but it turned out to be great. I enjoyed it, and Perez did too, and so did the listening people. But all right, and finally, on the last Turnbuckle Talk Radio podcast that aired, Cyclone Jones. Moving more to my wrestling fan base. Sorry if you were tuned in for the politics and sports. Goodbye. See you next time. But wrestling, for the wrestling fans, Cyclone Jones responded to my response to him asking me for a response. If that makes any sense. But he responded to the response on the last, I almost said Football Talk Weekly, but it's not Football Talk Weekly, Turnbuckle Talk Radio Podcast. And he said some pretty interesting things, and he clarified one thing, which, okay, and he aired the promo, the infamous promo that he, with the, the balls in the bag and the purse and all that stuff, where that comment came from. And he corrected me, and I will stand corrected. He did not tell me to shut the F up. He told me to shut the hell up. Everything else I said was factual, and he pretty much acknowledged all of it. But he did say he was going to find a place, work very, very hard to find a place that will sponsor the match between myself and him. And I sit here and I look at this and I say simply this in response. All right. That's going to do it for this edition of the JC Money Show here on the Gear Radio Network's iHeartRadio channel. That's right. Of course, you can listen to it every day on iHeartRadio if you wish. And at the end of the week, every JC Money Show episode will be available for download on the Gear Network Spreaker page. Visit shopgear.com to do all of your Amazon shopping. Of course, that helps us out. That sustains this program and sustains all of the other programming on the network as well. We appreciate you listening. We appreciate you shopping. Tune in next time for an all-new edition of the JC Money Show. When I post it, it'll be right here first on iHeartRadio, Gear Network style. So long, everybody. Good night now. The preceding presentation has been brought to you by the Gear Network.